of the 50 years anniversary of the club this year will be featuring our past president, Mohammed Salahuddin, who will be sharing with us his best memories in the club.
It is quite a coincidence that my office is also celebrating 50 years. So you can imagine, I'm probably a few months older than Rotary Club of Salmaniya. However, I'm going to give you some history about me being Rotarian. First, it gives me great pleasure to be among you to share with you my experience. Being a Rotarian since 1979. However, I will emphasize the first 20 years to give you a glimpse of how things were and how Rotary was so much on our mind, and that service is truly above self. I will run a slideshow in a few seconds and I'll talk through just to give you some idea, to bring fond memories with Rotarians who are around or have left. So let me start by saying first, I became a Rotarian in March 1979, as nominated and supported by many of my friends in Rotary Club of Salmaniya. Bahrain being so small, everyone is your friend, really. I would say we had elite members with fantastic characters and values who stopped at nothing to support the club and contribute in whatever way to achieve certain defined goals. So I'd like to tell you a few things. This is the picture taken a few years after I became a member, so don't be fooled. Then there is my board, the board in 91, 92, and you can see I became almost a founder member in 1971, but somehow I didn't make it. I didn't make that commitment, and what I did is I joined a few years later. Now I became president of the club in 91, 92 with a superb board. You can see it in front of you, with Mohammed Yatim being the past president, and vice president and president was Rotarian Adel Al-Ali, and you can see the rest of the directors at my presidency time. My year of presidency was really full of events and activities. The raft race was really the main event. Now, as we go along, there are a few pictures which I'd like to share with you. This is a gala dinner at Regency in 1991. So this picture is almost 29 years old. You can see how old we were. Our late friend, Rotarian, past president Sadiq Diwani. Unfortunately, he passed away, but he was a dear friend to all of you. This is a picture of our Rotary International District Conference in Nicosia in April 1991. You can see lots of banners, lots of trophies. Our club and Banama Club at the time had won quite a few. All directors were very active then, and schemes and projects, many trophies and awards were won in different district conferences in the years before and after. Back to pictures, you can see this is the famous picture at Checkpoint Charlie in Nicosia. Now, of course, I don't think this exists because now they allow traffic between north and south, which is Cypriot and Turk and Cypriot side. So back to some pictures. This was taken on a ship in Turkey, in Istanbul, October 91. A visit by our district governor at the time, the late Mr. Munir Azzuddin. It was in December 91. Very active district governor. I took him to site. This project was financed by Rotary Club of Salmaniya. And you can see, I'm sure it is being used usefully now. It's in Nabi Saleh. This was one of the projects that paid for by Rotary Club of Salmaniya, helped to villagers to clear the springs. I'm sure this spring has disappeared now, but at the time, it was supplying water to some farms in the area. You can see how dense the farms were in those days. Anyway, this was again in 91. Now, as I said earlier, all directors were active with selected schemes, projects. Many trophies and awards were won. Our weekly meeting was something to look for and await to meet members and Rotarians from Manama Club, visiting Rotarians. Visiting Rotarians were quite frequent from abroad. And as usual, banners were exchanged and introduction of their clubs took place. However, I must tell you about past President Khalil Shakib, because he was the star of our club and he headed the noisy table. I'll show you a picture of the noisy table in a few seconds in case I have it. This pictures you see in front of you, it is about the raft race in 91, chairing weekly meeting in 92, introducing a new member. This was my last meeting as presidency in 92. This is the famous noisy table. The club was really quiet when past President Khalil was not around. He's still in good health, but unfortunately he doesn't attend our meetings. However, I told him I'll be speaking about him today and he passes his greetings to you. Anyway, the fine session was a unique weekly event, not to be missed, full of jokes and laughter. The dirty jokes, of course, disappeared from the fine session when women were accepted in the club. And Mahsouma Khalaf, as you probably, some of you remember, was the first woman Rotarian in March 1999. Needless to say, acceptance of women in the club, in Rotary in general, has enriched the Rotary clubs all over the world and made it more appreciated in society and around the world. The Rotary Club of Salmaniya, in Rotary Club of Salmaniya, we are proud of women leadership and they have efficiently proved themselves. Back to some slides. This is a picture taken in Beirut during the district conference in 93. This is almost just a year or so after the civil war has ended. You probably will not see these buildings today. Some of them have been demolished because of the conditions they were in. And this is Sahat al-Burj, a few people recognize it. It has been totally changed now. I hope peace will prevail upon Lebanon and they see prosperity and stability again. This is again a picture taken with the late Rotarian Ahmed Amin and the late Rotarian Abdurrahman Jafar, and with our friend Dr. Ahmed Ahmed. This was the noisy table part, and some of them, and the 106 of friends who were on the flight to Beirut to attend the district conference. This is a gala dinner, probably for the district governor, Mr. and Mrs. Munir Azzuddin, in 1995. It's a pity to say that Mr. Azzuddin has passed away, but he was a dear friend. Really, he kept in contact all the years after he has. He's in Rotary as long as he was there. He was always in constant touch until he got sick and died later. Okay, now back to some talks. Over the years, I've attended many district conferences in different countries, mainly in our district, and attended our Rotary convention, one Rotary convention in Seoul, South Korea. I must tell you about this. 35,000 people attended, Rotarians attended this convention. That was really an awesome scene. It was held at a stadium, a football stadium. No other place could take that number of Rotarians for that huge event. Finally, I must say, being a Rotarian is a unique experience and not to be missed, and gives a lot of self-confidence to work and speak. Because of our present circumstances, I'm glad to see and notice how successful our Rotary meetings have evolved into virtual meetings with many participants from other clubs locally and internationally. Now, sharing a few pictures just before I conclude. You can see how participant of the Rotary District Conference in Bahrain in April '95. Huge. And this is the last slideshow. This is a picture taken in Alba, visit by Rotary Club of Salmaniya members to Alba. And as I said, because of virtual meetings now and many participant meetings, we miss having the usual meetings and miss our usual sambusa at the greeting time, at the reception time in just before starting the meetings every Wednesday. Finally, I wish all Rotarians success to maintain their attendance and service to our society as much as they can. Thanking you for all your time, and please stay safe. Thank you.